Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chasing the Whimsy. You're here today with me, Ben, and triumphant return. We have
Liam.
Welcome back, buddy.
I'm back.
He's back, guys. He's back. So all of you guys that listened last week, sorry that it was a Liam-free episode, but as we mentioned, he was busy. Liam, did you have a chance to listen to last week's episode?
No.
That's how busy this guy is. He sent me some pictures and some videos of what he was doing last week. This kid is a monster. He's killing it. We'll get into that in a minute. I got a small bone to pick with you, Liam. You can't leave me by myself anymore, man.
Was it tough?
It wasn't bad. I asked the grandmas to come over because I didn't want to talk to myself. So I found out that without you, for whatever reason, I and ummed the whole time, all 45 minutes of this
you
thing.
Need me,
right? So that was interesting, but some learning opportunities doing it by myself. One, I think I can handle an episode by myself if I needed to.
Sure.
And then two, we had other grandma come on for a couple of minutes and hung out for a minute, and I learned how to edit and play with the volumes and stuff in post. Like I can say I do stuff in post.
You can edit.
I can edit. So I play with volumes a little bit. So yeah, it was super interesting to kind of do it by myself. Obviously I would prefer to do it with you, but I want you to know that if you do have to go, Jason the Whimsy's in good hands. I got your back. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing for the last week.
Wrestling season is here.
All right, there we go. Wrestling season. All right, so we're a couple of weeks in.
It's weird because I haven't stopped wrestling. Like the biggest break I had was maybe a month, 3 weeks.
Right before right before school started.
It's like an all-around sport thing, and I've come back and I'm destroying. I'm currently 2-0.
Okay.
There's these stupid laws with matches and stuff where it's
all right.
they're ordering us into these things, and it's just dumb because that means because we have such a big team.
Right. Okay.
So
you're wrestling. So this is it's not WWE. This is the mat with the big circle on it, like Olympic you would see in the
Yes.
Olympics. Okay. You liking it?
Yeah, I loved it. That's win awards from my school,
For excellence in
hard work, determination,
in teamwork.
teamwork.
All right, very cool. So you're an award-winning athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come to a match this coming week.
Oh,
So what do I need to know? What kind of stuff do I need to know before I get there?
nerd, a little loser. You don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna be going there, and I'm gonna be on like, woo!
Right. So you do matches?
Matches.
All right. How long?
1-1-1.
1-on-1. How long is the match?
1-1-1. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
So you start off in neutral.
All right. So you versus me.
Yeah.
We start
standing up
neutral.
in our stance.
Okay.
If you bring them to the ground and you circle behind them, get behind their legs.
Okay.
That's a takedown. 2. That's 2 points.
Oh, okay. So it's a point system. It's not just a pin.
Yes.
Okay.
So
all right.
so there, and then say you get out, right? You stand up and you go back to neutral. That's 1 point for escape.
Oh, okay. So we're neutral. You get behind me. 2 points for you, but we're still going.
So no. Yeah. No matter what.
Oh, okay.
The only time to stop is when it's a caution,
Okay.
someone gets hurt, or
pinned.
lock hands.
Okay.
So here's how it goes. There's Greco, freestyle, and then the traditional one.
Okay.
Folk style.
Okay.
So folk style, you cannot lock hands on bottom at all.
On bottom, what do you mean?
So, like I said, you take the guy down to the mat.
Okay.
You get behind him. That's 2.
Okay, so you're behind me, you get 2 points, but we're still going.
Yes.
Because I can get 1 point if I get out.
Yes, but
Okay.
But I could get three points
Okay.
for back points. So if I flip you onto your back and you're laying on your back
Okay.
for 3 seconds, you get 3 points. And then if you're it's shoulder blades. If your shoulder blades are pinned to the mat, that's pin.
And how many points is the pin?
No points.
Oh, just the
match
win.
is over. Yeah, match is over.
Okay. All right. So we're both neutral. You get behind me. You're 2.
Yes.
I get out. I'm 1. So it's 2-1. But then you pick me up and throw me on my back plus 3.
No, I picked. Oh, that's a 5-point move. So I throw you on your back,
Oh,
right?
shoot. Okay.
In order to get the escape, the other person has to get the takedown.
Okay.
So I get the takedown, you get the escape. I take you back down. I put you on your back. That's 5 points, because the 2 takedown and then the 3 back points.
Right. So 2, my escape is 1, and then me on my back is 3 more for you. So 5-1.
Yes, and there's no taking away points. There's only adding points. So they're like, oh, lock hands, point this guy.
Okay.
So that's like all that could all be in the first period.
Okay. So the first match or round.
Minute.
The
First period.
minute, first period. We're going back and forth, 2-1, 3-1.
Okay, right.
And then
Minute's over.
Okay.
Ref blows the whistle.
Woo, woo, woo.
So then they're like, all right, they flip a thing. Red or you have these ankle things. You have these things on your ankle. It's red and green, and whatever it flips to, they're like top, which is the takedown, but you don't get the 2 points. Bottom, so you can stand up and try and get the point. So the whole reason so you could for bottom is so you could get up and get the 1. Say it's like 2-3, so you could tie it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there's a strategy to it.
And if you're on top and you're really good on top, you can try and get the 3 points for back points.
Okay. So
or get the pin.
That's the second period.
Yes.
Okay. So
or you choose neutral, and then you're just like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And then there's the fur, where
at
it's like,
the-
I want to choose the third period.
all right. So at the end of the first minute, we're back and forth. You got 10. I got 5. And then those points carry over to period 2.
Yes. That's so.
Okay.
Say it's like 10-5, right?
Right.
That's when you want to go neutral,
Okay.
because I think or top, but usually my coach wants us going bottom, so we could just get out, get the 1 point, hopefully get the takedown for 2, and then the back points for 3.
And then if you're bottom and you get out and you're back in neutral, the period still goes, and we go back to like we did round 1.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to pop up, get your 1, and then like not distract, but kind of like, because you're ahead by 6 now, so you're kind of like staying neutral and trying to maintain that 6-point lead. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then whistle, period 3.
So period 3, it's the same thing as period 2, but as soon as the ref blows the whistle and it's over, whoever has the most points wins.
But a pin guarantee win first, second, or third period.
Yeah, I've pinned both my opponents.
All right. Well, what rounds or what periods?
I could have pinned the one, my second match in the first, but I wanted to be slick and do a couple moves, and then the first period.
All right, fair enough. Very cool. That's awesome.
Like I said, remember I went on the wrestling trip,
Yeah.
and I had I've only had 2 matches and 2 meets, and there's other people who've had like 5 and 4 because it's all weight classes.
And what is a meet? Is that the overall like tournament day?
So what we call is a duel. So a duel is there's 3 teams. You
Okay.
get the home and then 2 aways.
Okay.
The away teams go first, and I think it's whoever wins doesn't have to wrestle first, because then that means the other one will go back to back.
Okay.
And then they'll just be done. And that goes, and then there's a varsity and JV. Sadly, I'm JV.
Oh, well,
I'll get there.
for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll see me.
We're only in 8th grade.
See me soon. So the JV is ran by like there's 2 refs. So there's 2 mats usually, and then the varsity's going on this side, and then there's the JV.
Okay.
So for the JV you have to wait, but on varsity there's like an order to it.
Okay.
So in my trip, my camp, I had 15 matches in 3 days.
Oh wow. And each match has 3 periods.
Yes, and this one
So you
was
were going for 45. You were wrestling for 45 minutes.
and these periods were 2-1-1.
2 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And I forget what grade he's in, but I think he was like a sophomore.
in college, I think.
Yeah, and And this is like super upsetting story to talk about. My coach and me counted as a win because it was a win.
All right.
So, right, it's the first period. This kid's strong. I mean, I gained weight because it's the summer, you know. I'm wrestling at this tall kid.
Okay.
And tall, but like skinny and stuff.
Right.
But he's got muscles. So it was the first period. I get a takedown. He gets a takedown. Here's what this is when it pisses me off. Is so the first one's over,
I've
right?
never heard him say pissed off.
So here's the first one.
He gets all aggro. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first round it's over. He's up by like 5.
Okay.
And here's the second period, right? My coach chooses bottom. I get him on his back. I grab his head.
That's +3 for putting
Yes.
him back on. Wait, you get the relief. You
Yes.
get the escape because you're on the bottom, and you put him on back. So you're a +4.
Yes.
So
And
now you're only -1.
And my teammates are going crazy. They're running around. Pin, right? The ref says, no. My teammates were standing in front of the time. So the people running at the table didn't know what time it was. So they didn't know when to stop it. And they were in front of the table.
So-
Everyone's going crazy, right?
So ref is like pin, but they're like maybe on
Yeah.
a oh, that's they did you dirty.
So I end up losing.
by
But
1.
yeah, by 5.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Because I was super tired. I put all my
because
energy.
if you got the pin, then you could have kept, but you had to go to a third period.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Look at
most
that.
of
I'm catching on.
most of the kids were like also like 8 feet tall. I'm just like I'm a little 7th grader. Like, leave me alone, because there was juniors. There was the highest grade was juniors, and then no seniors, juniors, seniors, and freshmen. And I'm like just this little 7th grader. My coach was like, "Yeah, you'll be fine." There's like, it great trip.
But you're holding your own. That's pretty cool.
Because it was really weird how they did it too. Because since we have so many kids on our team, they had us split up into 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was 3 coaches there. So the coaches would switch, and that's when my head coach was there. He's the one who really like brings me up. Like, he motivates me the most.
Okay.
So the first 2, there's sessions. This is sessions, right? You get 3 matches, and 3 duels usually happen 2 hours at a time. So then they're like, okay, wrestle these 3 duels. Those 3 duels are over. Take a break for an hour and 30. Go back and wrestle another. So the first one, it was like early, like not early, like 9,
Okay.
10, and they're like, all right, wrestle these 3. Coach 1, right? So coach 1's there. Everyone's still tired. People are winning, and then like the 7th graders are losing. So the second session, you got coach 2, who motivates me a little more,
Okay.
getting there. And then we take a break. Session 3. This is the coach who I'm like, yeah,
This is the guy that's pushing you. He's
that
like,
I got to impress.
all right.
So this is also one of my favorite things. He's like, this counts as a win if you take 3 shots.
Nice. Okay.
So he's like, take 3 good shots. I'm not saying you have to finish or do anything, but that'll be a win in my eyes if you do that.
Okay.
And it's just so funny because my coach was also playing mind games to these high schoolers, right? And he's like, let's go 7th grader.
Oh, like that condescending like clap. Oh.
So it's like, how would you feel if you're a high schooler losing to a 7th grader? So I think that's what his thing was. And like, I was just super motivated. He did that twice. I got a win there.
And then you mentioned that they're bigger and they, like taller
Muscular.
and muscular. So like, what is your do you guys compete in weight classes?
Yes.
Okay, what's your weight class?
I'm currently like 135.
Okay.
But last year in my 7th grade season, I was 125.
Okay.
So gotten a little taller, gained a little weight. But we're working. We're gonna get down. Hopefully.
All right. So you missed last week. You're doing like every day. You're practicing, right? What's involved with practice? You doing weightlifting and like,
So I have this thing in my 5th hour called weights and conditioning. So I have weights. I think it's now Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
So that's when you get the lift the weights, run sprints, get stronger. And then after school, we take these buses to a different school because our wrestling room's small, which is so stupid.
Okay.
So we take it to this other one. Usually that's like technique. Every once in a while, our coach likes to, give us a little hard work,
Okay.
but nothing you've never done before.
Okay.
High knees, quick feet, stuff like that. Live goes and stuff. So the practices are usually easy, but that's it was weird because Monday was my first like duel, so that's why I had to miss because I've just been really busy and stuff. So.
All right. What else do you do to prepare? Are you like on a special diet? Like I know kids kind of struggle. It's
cutting
pizza
weight,
and chicken tenders all the time.
Cutting weight sucks. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
I mean, there is. You try to stay on a diet, right?
Right.
But you're a kid, so you want to eat like.
You want the pizza and the chicken
Yeah,
tenders.
exactly. But then you got the standards. You're like, do I want to be competitive, or do I want to eat terribly?
Okay.
So like, there's a bunch of people who cut weight like terribly, like they just don't eat, they don't drink water, and you don't do that. If there's anyone listening who are wrestlers, like don't. It's like because if you cut weight like that, you ruin your body for the rest of your life. It sucks. Cutting weight sucks.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
But so with your diet, you a little bit more proportion. Like you don't eat until you're sick. You a little bit more smaller portions. I know you're for whatever reason like you're real big into like the broccoli and like fruit smoothies and stuff. So so fruits, vegetables, get your proteins, lay
Your
out some degree
steaks,
stuff. Okay.
yes.
All right.
But
All right. Let me go back to wrestling real quick.
the camp?
No, the actual, well, the mats.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is there a big circle? And why are you trying not to get out of the circle?
Yeah. So the circle is inbounds and out of bounds.
Okay.
There you go.
And because I see on like TV and stuff, people can get a little bit. Is it fully out?
Feet in.
Oh, okay. So as long as my feet are in.
Legs in, I think.
Okay, so I can peek out a little bit, but if you or me, or more, we'll call it half right now, then they blow the whistle and we get us back into neutral.
Mm-hmm. No, so if you're on bottom right, and you
Okay.
run the guy out of the circle, you're still on bottom.
Oh, they put me back on bottom. Okay. All right. What about camp? You wanted to go back into camp.
I don't. It was just a really fun experience.
You gonna go back again next year?
For sure.
All right.
So the year you stop is when you're a junior, like so you can't go in your senior year.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be like, yeah, I went 5 years.
Oh, very cool.
Because we did a bunch of fun stuff, whitewater rafting, and it was raining that day. and our like the other wrestlers are a bunch of nerds and wore the like suits to make them like not so cold. And our coach was like, take your shirts off, be a man.
How has wrestling impacted your your focus with school?
Getting in trouble.
Yeah, like you were never one to get in a lot of trouble. Like you weren't like a thug or anything, or like maybe a little bit like more mischievous, more class clownish. But they always say kids in sports tend to kind of like stay on the straight and narrow.
It's the coaches.
Okay. So the coaches are the ones that kind of help make sure that you stay on track.
Yeah, because when I was
school
coming in, like I finished with like not as good grades, and the first thing he said is student before athlete.
100%. All right, cool.
It was funny because wrestled right, and if you didn't have good grades, you couldn't have your phone during the day. He'd say, put your phone in this little pouch until you get your grades up.
Okay.
Which was motivation because half of the kids like immediately were like, I can't deal without my phone.
Right. No, and that's a good policy. I mean, you and I have something very similar that if grades start to come down, that
No podcast.
well, podcast. We just found out that Dad can fumble his way through an episode if necessary.
Tumble. Roll.
Yeah. Very cool. What kind of advice would you give to like a JJ or anybody listening that wants to get their kid in, or if their kids want to get into wrestling, what kind of advice do you have for them? Go for it.
Keep your faith in the coaches.
Okay.
No, not really like kind of handing your kid over and being like, I trust you.
Okay.
Because it's hard for a coach to be like, oh, I can't do this because this parent won't let me.
Right, because parents are protective in a way that I don't want to see you like being thrown around, and coaches are like, I know he can handle it.
Exactly.
That's what. Okay.
That's what he said. He won't do anything that you can't handle.
Okay, all right. So he's not going to make you go up against the seniors next year.
Oh no, he will.
Okay, but
you can handle that. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying if it's like 6'9", 250 pounds, and he's
weight classes, yes.
Right. Okay.
So if it's like, we also like when we're doing these intense workouts, right? Like sprints and stuff. He's like, look around. There's other people doing it. I know you can handle this. So we're gonna get through this, and after you're gonna be glad that you did it, because one of the coaches says you're only gonna regret what you didn't do.
Okay.
So, just keep your faith in the coaches and what they're doing, because they know what they're doing.
All right. So follow their lead. How's your confidence? Do you have a bunch of confidence now?
Not when the kids are huge.
But you don't let them know though, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. You still snarl at them.
Yeah.
Aggro and
Yeah. You gotta act. You can't be scared, because then if you are scared, you'll wrestle scared.
fake it till you make it.
Basically, yeah.
All right, I like it. Oh, very cool. Well, that sounds super exciting. I'm excited to go later this week, watch you just tear it up, start throwing people around. So next week we'll have an update. You're gonna have how many matches by next week?
Hopefully 2 to 3.
All right, so we're looking for like 5-0, 4-1.
No, I'll go 5-0.
5-0. Now you have these big meets every like twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
We got maybe we'll call it 10 more meets before the finals.
Yes.
How do you get into the finals?
Being varsity.
But if you went 15-0 and the finals come
that
up,
don't mean anything.
so as a JV, you don't get to participate in anything in the finals?
Not the finals, no.
You don't even get to go and be like the warm-up crowd?
I didn't go last year, so it'll if I do, I think I'm gonna go this year.
Okay.
It's gonna be an eye-opening experience.
Okay.
Eye-opening experience one. Like,
Ooh, I got a question for you. Do as a JV, and you have the varsities, right? Do you interact at all with the varsity guys?
oh yeah, I
Have any of them adopted you as like, this is my guy? We're gonna make sure like coach is helping you out, but like that whole team.
we're not the varsity team. We're not the JV. We're not the girls. We're not the boys. We're the wrestling team,
Right.
as my coach calls it.
Right, but do you have like a mentor, like outside of your coach? Like, do you have Steve, like showing you tricks and like
It's weird. I don't know what you're thinking. We all do that. We're all good friends. We're like a family.
I'm just looking for like that one guy that goes the extra mile to be like, here's what you got to do. Do you guys watch tape? Like, is that a thing? Like, do you guys watch people? Like all the other sports.
We read books.
Do you watch the school that you're going up against on Thursday?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Fair enough. Very cool. I'm very excited. I learned everything about wrestling today.
There's so much more to learn. There's thousands of moves. There's thousands of takedowns. You got obviously the 3, the Greco, freestyle, folk style. So you got a lot to learn. I mean, my mom's still learning.
Do you have like a signature move that you like to try to go for?
Shots, just like a bunch of shots. Okay. I'm a leg rider.
All right.
And if you want to know, you can look that up yourself.
Let me guess. That's you behind them, but low, so that they can't stand up and they can't like.
We'll have to look at
Kick.
it.
Well, it's not very fun for a podcast.
Well, it's like hard to explain,
All right. Well,
and I can't give the tricks away.
we
You
got.
know.
Oh, all right. I see what he's getting at. He's playing a little coy because he's got secrets. we don't want the other team here in this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Very happy that you are wrestling. I like to see you engaging in an extracurricular activity.
Yeah, and also talking about like you're proud of me, right, and all that. Because going back to like what does it mean for like disciplinary, right? So like our coach allows no vaping, no drinking.
Well, you're all underage technically. Okay.
Yes,
Right.
because kids are dumb. They do that.
All right.
Like what's it called? So I'm gonna be honest. I got in trouble last year. Kid was messing with me. I pushed him. He pushed back. I pushed him again. Teacher calls for an office. I get suspended for 2 days. Yeah, not good. So my coach said like he said he was disappointed in me, which one killed me.
Right.
And two, I was like, I need to do better.
Okay.
Because what he said to me, like, changed me for some reason. He said, I know you're tough, but you don't got to act tough. You don't need to prove yourself. You've proven yourself to me, and that's
Right.
all that matters.
I like
With, like, disciplinary, because, like, people could get kicked off the team for, like, drinking, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, very cool. We will come back next week. We'll do some more wrestle talk. After I see some stuff, we can educate a little bit
Kind
more.
of like a wrestling update every week.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll catch up on some stats. Maybe we'll do like a move of the week. Like what is a full Nelson? I hear that thrown around every once in a
That's
while.
illegal.
Oh, is that illegal?
Oh, that's illegal.
Oh, I thought you were able to do stuff like that.
That's no full Nelsons.
Half Nelson.
Yes.
All right.
A lot of kids hit the half Nelson. You'll see it a lot when you go to my meet.
Okay.
A lot of kids hit the half Nelson.
Earlier you mentioned girls. Girls are wrestling now. Like that's a thing, right? That's pretty interesting. I love the idea to see the girls out there.
And it's fun. It's fun too because they're not separate from us.
Right. And they're winning.
Oh, yeah. We had 2 girls go to state.
Like that is awesome. I love the idea. And you guys wrestle each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're the same weight class, you guys are good.
So, some of the practices, he's like, all right, we're going live.
Mhm.
Either you pair, like, he goes, all right, this is group 1, this is group 2, this is group 3. So he either's like, you pair yourselves up, or in my most recent practice, they paired us up.
Okay.
So it don't matter what weight you are. They're like, hey, if I want you wrestling this kid, you're wrestling this kid.
All right. Very cool.
So the weight classes don't really matter until, like,
No, but I meant like in like the matches in your duels.
yes, weight does.
Okay. Right. So Thursday you could be wrestling a female, a girl.
Yes.
Cool. That is awesome. I love the idea of the girls getting out there because they're tough, and 2 of them going to state. Like I like the idea that they hold their own, and it's all them haters out there just sticks it right in their face.
And they slaughtered the boys in our room, too.
That's crazy.
And it's like, it's crazy because, yeah.
All right, very cool. All right. I think I got a new segment. I think this is our first official segment. I don't know what to call it yet. So anybody listening, email us. Let me know if you have any ideas. But it's going to be something like old man dad's like teachable moment. Back like in the 90s on TV, there was during the commercials, like the star would like shoot across the screen, and it was like the more you know. And it was like this little like 10-second like educational thing, like just a quick teachable moment.
Yeah.
So something happened to me this week, and I wanted to maybe get your take on it before I get too much into it. Peer pressure. We talked about it a little bit, you and I, a little bit, a couple episodes ago, where I'm like, I think the podcast has an opportunity where we can educate you and the younger listeners about some of the things that happen to teenagers. And this week, something happened to me, and I was like, peer pressure. You and I have talked, and I'm like, hey, what do you do if you're at a party and someone offers you a drink, offers you a cigarette? What do you say?
No.
You're down. You turn away all peer pressure. You will not cave to peer pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started thinking about that. What is peer pressure? Could peer pressure be, does it always have to be like the scary, dangerous things? Could there be like
I see what you're getting at.
Could there be a smaller version of a peer pressure? Like, if you could, I think, could you and your buddy be hanging out and one of you have a really bad idea? It doesn't hurt anybody. It's childish. It's juvenile. But it's a bad idea. And one says no, but if the other guy's like, come on. Wouldn't that be kind of a form of peer pressure?
Could another form of peer pressure be like, Mom,
Okay.
I need this. Come on. I need this. This is super important.
Well, maybe. So what happened this week? Okay. So big ticket items like the drugs, the alcohol, illegal activity. Always say no to those.
Mm-hmm.
But being a kid, being an adult, sometimes you make bad decisions. But I think if you're influenced by somebody, we can agree, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't offend anybody, it's not illegal, it's a mistake, we move on, we maybe make a fun story out of it if necessary. So we have like the smaller peer pressure, right? Do you have any experiences in your personal life where you were peer pressured into doing something?
I peer pressured a kid.
You were the bad one.
Mm-hmm. Third grade, trying to be cool.
Right.
With
Because
friend.
that's the whole idea behind peer pressure, right? Which is you want to be cool, you'll do drugs. But in your case,
So this is a really weird story on it. So me and this other kid were talking.
okay,
I'm like, hey, we should push that kid into the girls' bathroom.
okay.
So,
And he's like, nah, no, thank you, Leo.
and I said, hey, you see the fifth grader? They do that all the time. They'll think you're super cool if you do that.
And you're in third.
Yes.
So you're like, if you want to be 2 grades cooler, do this with me.
So I say, hey, you should go push that kid into the girls' bathroom. He's standing there talking, sitting on the wall. So he goes over there. He pushes him in the bathroom. Ha ha hee hee. I get in trouble because I was involved.
And you should get in trouble because
Yes.
it hurt. It made me embarrassed, but you didn't you pushed him in there prankish, but it was not in any kind of like weird, angry, vicious, vindictive way. Just a childish.
Funny joke. Not a screw you,
Right.
go in the girls' bathroom. It's
Okay.
more of a ha ha.
All right, so we don't agree with that. It's bad. I'm glad you got in trouble, but
Thanks.
but that kind of peer pressure, it is what it is. That's kind of what it is to be a kid, right? Mm-hmm. Funny thing about that is I also in 4th grade got in trouble for pushing a girl in the boys' bathroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So when you listen to last week's episode, it's one of the things I said was the things that people have against you as a 13-year-old or as a teen.
Mm-hmm.
I did the exact same stuff. We all, everybody who tries to poop on you, they did the same thing when they were 13. And in 4th grade, I pushed a girl into the boys' bathroom. And I also got in trouble, and I deserved it.
Yeah, jerk.
So this week, let me tell you about this monster, this monster peer pressured me.
You got peer pressure?
I got peer pressured into doing something that I kind of wanted to do, but I think you were involved. Do you want to tell them what happened? You peer pressured me.
That's not peer pressure. Come on.
All right. So tell them Steve Dave was running an eBay auction. 10 items for
Oh, didn't his house burn down?
Nate. Yeah. So Nate, one of the listeners, tell him Steve Dave house burns down. So tell him Steve Dave's like, let's do 10. They did some weird fun pun with it with 10 auctions for Nate, but punnier. And I go online on eBay and I look at some of the things that they had. They got a TESD skateboard, hats, jerseys, some VHS tapes, and a bunch of like merch that they have from their Patreon. And then they have this. Walt Flanagan is a comic book artist, and they had a vinyl cast. They put out an episode of Tell 'em Steve Dave on record, on vinyl, and he drew the cover art. So what they were auctioning off was the original pencils of that art. One of a kind, signed by all three. I was looking at it. I was like, I think that would be cool to have. Did you think it would be cool to have?
I told you to spend an outrageous amount of money on that.
It wasn't just like, not. I thought it would be like, this would be fun to have. But you took it one step further and said, you have to have it.
Because what's it called? I think it's a profit. Because if it's going for this much now, how much would someone else pay it?
It's original art, pencils, signed. The Vinyl Cast 1 is the first podcast put on vinyl. So, yeah, I would assume that there's a collection. TESD fans are fanatical about everything TESD. Like, we love our merch. We love our exclusives. And the idea of having this one-of-a-kind item, you were like, we need this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know. So we looked it up last Sunday, and it was starting off at like, what, $400 or $500 or something?
Yeah.
What do we have under your bed?
A box full of merch.
Bunch of stuff. What's in that box?
Hoodies.
Tell 'em Steve Dave hoodies.
Stickers, hats.
Shirts. TSD trucker hats. Bumper stickers. Sweaters. Shirts. And you were like,
this would complete it.
We have this collection. We need original art. And I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, okay, I'll humor you. It's helping out Nate. It's going for a good cause. I'll put in a bid. I'll put in $700.
Yeah.
We wake up the next morning. What's the first thing you ask me?
What's the bid?
And I'm like, we lost it. As I drive to school, we're talking. What do you tell me? Like, you bid on this thing. And I said, okay, how much do I put in?
I said $1,500.
So,
and you believe me.
So here's where the peer pressure comes in. Is he's like, you have to do it if you want to be cool and get your collection.
No. That's not how it was.
Yes, it was. He's like, come on, man. You don't want to be lame. $1,500.
And it's funny because I barely speak to you during the week, but but this week was somehow different.
I can't get you to text me all week, and you text me Tuesday and Wednesday. And what do you text me?
What's the bid at? there's like a bunch of watchers, and I'm one of the watchers, just like scouting it.
The kid's never been on eBay in his life, but all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna make sure my dad doesn't wuss out on me. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, he checks on me all week, and then it's like Thursday rolls around, he's like, it stopped turning into, what's the bid at? It's, I see it's at 17. Is that you? And I'm like, no. He's like,
Bid.
And I'm like,
because I call you, and I'm like, hey, you need to freaking put this thing up. Like, what are you doing?
He sets a limit at $1,500, which is bananas. Like, it is crazy. Like, we're collectors. We have a little bit of cash laying around. I got a savings account. I'm trying to save up for a new car, and you know that. And part of me thinks,
screw that.
Right? He's like, we don't need the grass in the backyard. We don't need new grass. Oh, the funniest stuff. And then he's just like all week, he's just like, keep going. And I'm like, you told me 15. And then I'm like, this thing's up to like 17, 18. I set alarms.
Yeah. Dad, when are you waking up?
Right. The bid ended Friday at 10:32.
I called you that night, right?
Oh.
No, I texted you that night.
You texted me. Well, I texted you the night before when I was working overnight, and I was like, I texted you and I said, read this before you wake up. I need to know what our top number is. So somehow this kid talks me into a $1,500 investment.
This is like method of madness. You're like going crazy.
I went crazy because like he pumped me up. Like I felt like I needed this thing. And now it's shooting up into like 2K. I'm texting him like, hey man, how high do I go? Like, I need his permission to spend.
You need your son's permission to spend your money. I'm the man of the house.
Like, I want to support Nate. I want to support Tesdy. But we just started this adventure podcasting. We're buying some cool merch. And then out of nowhere, you're just like, you got to get it. You got to get it.
So it ended at 2.
So at the end of so after you get out of school, you call me or you text me and you're like, you saw the end price. What was the end price?
$225. $2,225.
I did not get it. I fought for a minute. It was me and like probably 2 other guys that last like 12 hours, just kind of going back and forth to save myself some embarrassment. Yeah. I will not divulge how much I bidded.
But what are you going to do though if the guy cancels and he's like, I don't have this money?
It like the idea I was thinking about it and I was enjoying it. And then I sit down and I think about it and I'm like, oh, this kid, he talked me into it. And I was like, well played, sir. Well played. We did not win it. I am kind of sad.
Isn't it funny how that's not the first time I peer pressured you?
You peer pressure me all the time.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, parents, don't let your kids manipulate you.
But you wanted it. I wanted it. It'd be super cool.
I think it would have been super fun to have, and it would have been so cool. Let's see. Let me see what else we got here. What's coming up the next couple of weeks? What are we in the preseason of?
Oh, football.
Are you guys big football people?
I do fantasy football just for the fun of it. But this is we can make this an ongoing tradition, huh? The first time we had a recorder, what was it?
Oh, all of you listening would know the answer to this. It was right around Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah. And so one of our first recordings was...
The first recording.
The first recording was...
Super Bowl predictions.
Liam predicted the Super Bowl. So what are you thinking? So new tradition. What are we going to do today?
Super Bowl predictions. Just,
who's going to win? Let's just go. Who is going to the Super Bowl this year? Do you have any front runners that you think are going to go?
Baltimore Ravens.
And
Hang on, I gotta look at the divisions.
all right, I got some predictions. I did some research on the internets. Basically, I just Googled.
Who won the past 10 years?
No. I looked at some odds. I read some articles. People way smarter than me in football, kind of getting a read on the status of these different football clubs and who's doing what. And I'm going to go ahead. I wanted to say AFC Chiefs.
Screw you.
But they didn't go last year, but they went like 2 times in the last like 4 years.
No, they won last year.
They won last year. Well, clearly I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, because it was Eagles. Remember, Eagles, Chiefs.
Oh, okay. I don't think they go back again.
Neither do I.
So my AFC pick, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville.
Jaguars look scary this year. They have an amazing offense.
Are you peer pressuring me into picking the
Oh
wrong
my
team?
gosh, okay.
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
Steelers?
Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC.
Bandwagon. For my AFC, this one's tough because I already said the Ravens, but I might have to
Well,
go.
you said you want Jacksonville. You tried to get me to pick Jacksonville, and then you.
I'm stuck. No.
I was like, he's like, oh, Dad, you should take Jacksonville. You should take Jacksonville. And then you're like, nah, leave them alone.
No, I'm stuck on 3. I have 3 teams I think
Okay.
are gonna win.
All right, who
I
do you
got
got?
the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
The
I was gonna say Bills too, but
Josh Allen's scary.
all right, I didn't like it. I didn't feel it.
Okay.
Still Pittsburgh.
Same thing with peer pressure and drugs, but I didn't feel it in my veins.
All right.
Yeah. The Ravens because they got DeAndre Hopkins now
Okay.
and Lamar Jackson, and then the Jaguars because they got a scary offense. But
So who's your official pick?
the Ravens again still
You're gonna go Ravens.
because Lamar Jackson's on my fantasy team. You know,
All right, let's get some pen and paper.
kind
I
of.
don't want Liam sneaking into the room editing this when he loses.
Oh, okay.
Like the lost episode, he's like, "Oh, I don't know what happened to our podcast. It's gone."
And I'm gonna actually predict the Super Bowl too.
So
So,
you-
I got the Ravens for AFC.
Okay. NFC.
You
Seattle or Atlanta?
hang on. Who's Atlanta again? We have no idea. Falcons,
Falcons.
right? Falcons and what was the other one you said?
Seahawks.
Ew. All right. Well,
I don't-
you obviously don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's that's the beauty of this. We'll get into it in a different episode, but I'll tell you that you are predisposed to having a gambling problem. So this is how we do it in this family. We just like close your eyes and hope for the best. But I'm going to go with my official pick, Atlanta.
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Atlanta, in Las Vegas this 2024.
So, see, here's the problem. I'm a Giants fan. New York Giants, Yankees fan. Don't talk about that right now. I just got a notification on my phone that they lost. Great.
Oh, we should just turn this thing off.
Yeah, turn it.
Good night, guys. Whimsy.
Screw the podcast.
Oh man, no joke though. That would have been the best place to Whimsy.
Oh. All right, we can edit and we can say it again.
We'll find another. I just snorted. All right.
I think I got the Saints.
All right.
New Orleans Saints.
You're gonna go New Orleans.
So it's gonna be the Ravens and the Saints in the Super Bowl. I got the Ravens winning 32 to 19. Okay.
32. How do you get to 32?
No, not 32. Hang on. 28.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
28's a little bit better. Because 28 is what? 4 touchdowns?
Mm-hmm.
And then how do we get to 19?
To 20.
Okay. Well, what is that? 14.
The 6, but no extra point.
Like, how funny if, like, we're gonna blow up if this thing happens. They're gonna be like, I don't know why.
Imagine. It's actually 32 to 19.
Okay, so I used to watch sports ball, so I
Sure.
kind of have an idea.
Sure.
So New Orleans is like, we're going to go for 2 in the fourth quarter. We're going to onside kick, but we want to get these 2 points. So when we get the next touchdown, we just have to kick. So they miss it, and then that's how they get to 20. And then when they do the onside kick, they lose it. Credits. I have no idea on scores.
My credits.
All I know is originally 32-19 is the worst scores you could have picked. So we'll see if Liam can teach me anything about football in the upcoming seasons. We watch it every once in a while. He comes up here on Sundays and he's like, "Did you watch the game?" I'm like, "I have no idea what we're talking about. I don't watch."
It's mostly the Cardinals game though, because that's the one everyone cares about. Is the Cardinals.
All right. Some sports ball. We'll give you guys some updates. Before we end, take a look at our Instagram.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna screw this up again.
No, we're not. We're not going to screw it up. We have some, Liam mentioned, some wooden tokens of a gnome named Pix.
Picks the gnome.
Pix the gnome. I reached out to a Laura on Etsy.
Shout out to Laura.
Whoop, whoop. She is Hapi Designs, Hapi Designs. And she has a video on Instagram. I have it tagged in my feed and my story. But she has a small video of
Our gnomes.
of her creating our wooden tokens of the gnomes. We have 2 versions coming out. So go online, take a look at it, like it. Let her know, show some support. So that way...
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, thank you, Laura, because we'd like to... we're going to move our first order. We'll have some updates with that, how you guys can obtain some. We got some contests. Maybe you can win one. Otherwise, we'll get you to our website where you can purchase one or both of the gnomes. So keep an eye out for those. And again, Hapi Designs, Hapi, Hapi. Laura, let her know we sent you. Show her some love. Hit that little heart, so she knows that you guys know. The blog, I've been updating it about once a week. I got a couple of different little categories. I got Inside the Pocket, kind of a little play on the pocket gnomes, but Inside the Pocket are going to be some blogs and some stuff I write about a recent episode. So Inside the Pocket will give you a little bit more of an inside about what we did. Last, what was it, Thursday? I just posted one, diving a little bit more into starting a podcast, some of the add-ons, theme songs, merchandise, logos, kind of give you guys...
It's really fun, actually, starting a podcast.
It is I don't know what I've been in the last 4 weeks, like I have something in me that is just driving creativity. I look at everything and I'm like, we can make something that. And I'm at work and I'm like, I'm getting creative at work, and like I am just upbeat and happy, man. I don't know what it is. I love this podcast, and I love all the ideas. You came up with some really good ideas this week, too, that we're going to try and iron out and get out to you guys. But yeah, take a look at our website. On the bottom, subscribe, put your email in, subscribe. And when you do, every time I update the blog, you guys will get an email so you guys can, read it, catch up on what's going on. Right now I haven't blogged in a while. I used to blog all the time. I used to keep a diary and everything online. So I'm slowly getting back into it, but a lot of just, whatever's happening, whatever I'm feeling, some deep cuts on the overall experience of everything that we're doing. So go online, chasingthewhimsy.com, very bottom, subscribe. And we're getting some feedback. I know a couple people are a little bit behind, so I'm not going to freak out yet. But again, email us at whimsy@chasingthewhimsy.com. Any of the comment sections in any of the streaming platforms. Leave comments. Send us some updates of what you guys think of the episode. Liam and I would love the feedback. What you guys like, what you guys don't like. Any suggestions on other topics? If you want to know more about wrestling, let us know. We'll go deep dive. We'll record a special episode for you guys. We'll throw it out on a Thursday. So give us that feedback. We want to,
you can always set up a poll too. Like, what do you want to hear for this Thursday's episode? A tier list, a wrestling, or?
Yeah, definitely. You guys throw out a suggestion, and right now you could be the only one, and we'll figure it out, and we'll do an episode just for you. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll figure it out. But Etsy, Hapi Designs, take a look at those things because we're going to be posting those. I think we got about 40 of each design. So 2020, you guys want to make sure you're one of the first ones to grab one of these sweet looking gnomes.
Gnomes.
2 designs. You guys are they look super cool. She's mailing them out Monday. I should have them by the end of the week. We'll get some pictures up. I also got Liam taking some pictures for us so we can add it to the website, and we'll put them on the Instagrams and the Twitters. And what are we looking for? A gnome.
Shut up.
Okay.
Whimsy.